welcome back. Hi, I'm Amy. I do Disney travel vlogs. I'll link the last ones down below. And this video is for the cabin tour from my recent P&O Iona Norwegian Fjords 7-night cruise. Now, if you've not seen any of those videos, I will link them all down below for you as well. But this is the cabin tour and cabin information review, basically. Now, I apologise, I've been saying room this whole time. It is a cabin, it's not a room. Sorry. So this is the video from when we first embarked onto Iona, so the first day I was on the ship, and you'll see that the room is completely clear, has got nothing in it, and then you'll see it with all of my stuff as well. And I thought that was quite a good way for you to see where things went and actually how much space there was. I know sometimes people just showing you cupboards and things doesn't really mean a lot. When you see it with things in, you can see how much stuff it can take. So this is the empty and unpacked room. I'm in 1O, which is deck 10, 132. You just get, so your boarding card will just be in this little thing here. If we scan. Oh, some hooks, bed, oh, got the sofa. It's quite a nice sofa. There's the bridge there. Wow. It's noisy out here. Let's go back inside. Television. All my stuff's just chucked everywhere. Let's have a look at the things you get. So, oh, fridge. Just a little cupboard. Oh, there's another little cupboard. Handy little cupboard. Phone. Tea and coffee. 2 plugs. Some little shelves. Sofa. Bed. And you get a plug socket. And if I remember rightly, yes, USB port in the bottom of the lights. That's better in the light. Oh, and you've got little shelves next to the bed on both sides. That's going to be handy for drinks and phones and all the other stuff, little bits here. And then you get your Horizon magazine when you first come in as well. Okay. If you're very tall, I can imagine it feeling a bit restricted in height, but it's fine. You have to be really, really tall, but they feel a bit lower. And then in the bathroom, you've got a shower, and you turn the light on, and a mirror, and your towels. Oh gosh, okay. There's a little cabinet. No, it's just shelves underneath. Whew. And here you've got a safe, wardrobe space. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hangers. Oh, shelves. Hairdryer. It's a Valera hairdryer. I have actually bought my own hairdryer as well. Shelves. And then nice double wardrobe. Oh my god, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, quite a few. And there's the life jackets and things like that. So I think I'll have enough hangers, but then it is just me. And a nice big bed. And sofa. So I thought I'd just show you. I've unpacked I'll show you where everything has gone. So on the hooks here, I've just hung up like my poncho, my jacket, my rucksack. Those are the built-in, oh, there's a spare one. Hang on there. Those are the built-in hooks. So they'll obviously take a bit more weight. Look in the bathroom. I've just put like all my toiletries on the shelves. And there's some shelves down there, and then all the toiletries in there as well. And then there's a big step, so you might not want to go rushing in there in the middle of the night. You'd probably fall over the step. And then under the bed I've got my case and stuff. So in the wardrobes I've got some stuff down there in my packing cubes. So in the safe you'll see I've got like my iPad and my laptop. Now I had to like put it in on an angle and then stand it up. I can't lie down. The safe isn't big enough, and I've got the smallest of the MacBooks, so if you've got a bigger one it's not going to fit in there. And then you've got the shelves, which I've kept stuff in my packing cubes because then they're not just rattling around in there. And then the actual like hanging space. And then I've got all my shoes all stacked up down there. I think I might have bought too many shoes. And there's a mirror here. Now, if you want to see what you look like, your outfit of the day. And then I bought my own hooks. So I've got these little magnetic hooks. Just from Amazon. Oh, they're quite loud, yeah, when they hit the wall. Hopefully next door won't get annoyed. But I've like hung up all my bags, so it's quite good to hang up hats, bags, and I've got a little bag here as well that's got like bits and odds and sods in it. It's got like hats and gloves and a thing like that. And then the sofa, and then the space around here. So I've just used this for my games and tech stuff, because otherwise it'll all be over there and it'll be a right mess. And then in here it's just my snacks. I've got like a little lunchbox thing so I can take snacks in my rucksack. Snacks, I got my tea, yeah, and then I got stuff, peach iced tea. Yeah, and my binoculars, they came in handy earlier when we were trying to figure out some stuff in port, so super useful. And the curtains like double lap over each other. This is quite a cool little table because it does pull out, so you could move it over to like the bed and things like that if you wanted to, or you could like work, put your laptop on it and then work on there rather than working up here if you needed to work, obviously. Thoughts on the cabin. I really liked my cabin. It was on deck 10. It was cabin 132, so 10, the deck number 132. It was a lovely cabin. It was classed as a forward cabin on the port side on the Norwegian fjords itinerary. So we had Stavanger, Olden, Hellesylt and Haugesund. Now the cabin I had was classed as a forward port side cabin. I quite liked being on the port side. 3 out of the 4 ports that we went to, the only one that docked with port side on the port side was in Stavanger. Now that was quite nice because you overlooked the historic white buildings, etc. But I quite liked being, when we docked at the other 3 ports, that the cabin was on the quieter side, so not overlooking the dock with all the comings and goings of the buses, land trains, all the excursions, basically. I really liked being that side of the ship, and I would definitely choose to be that side of the ship again. Would I choose to be in a forward position? So although we were classed as forward, we weren't right on the front, we were on the side, so forward port side. I would definitely choose to be a forward position again. I found it was really quiet. On Iona, a lot of the entertainment, other than headliners, was nearer the rear of the ship, so midship or the rear of the ship. So it meant it was quite a quiet location. The lifts were definitely quieter than the midship and rear of the ship. Those always seemed to be packed, so we always walked along to the front and then the forward ones and went up that way. I preferred it. I would definitely choose a similar location again for a cabin. The cabin itself, I thought, was really nice. It was a standard cabin. It was a GE grade balcony standard cabin. And I had chosen for the beds to be put together rather than two single beds. If you get there and they are two single beds and there's only one of you, or you want it to be together, just ask your cabin steward and they will change it for you. They're quite happy to do that. You can do it online in the P&O app. It's like where you check in, etc. It asks you about your bed configuration. I found the bed itself really comfortable. Now, bearing in mind, because it is effectively two single beds that are zipped together, I think they're zipped together. They're together anyway. It doesn't come apart or anything like that, but it's connected, two single beds. You do have that little ridge in the middle of the bed when it's one bed. Now, I like to sleep almost in the middle of the bed, so I did find that little ridge a bit annoying. And also, you'll find where people sleep on the mattresses, they do get a bit of an indentation, so you'll always kind of roll to the middle of the single mattress. I find that a little bit annoying, but that's one of those things. I liked the pillows. Now, I like quite a chunky pillow, and I found that absolutely fine, and multiple pillows, and you can ask for different types of pillows. Laura, who I was traveling with, she wanted the flattest pillow possible, and I managed to get her a feather pillow that was really thin. Do ask if you're struggling with a pillow, you're getting neck ache or it's just not comfortable, ask your cabin steward and they will try and help you as best as they can. Also, if you need a blanket or anything like that to take out on the balcony, maybe you're traveling when it's colder, ask your cabin steward. You can also ask them to bring ice and things like that to your room as well if you really need it. I didn't feel a need to do that. I could get water, etc. myself. That was absolutely fine. But they are there to help you. Ask, okay? The space in the room, I found for me as one person, was absolutely fine. The space between the end of the bed and the cabin wall was a bit narrow, especially when I had like my hooks up there with all my bags and things on, but it was fine. Now, if you had 3 people in a cabin of that size, or 4 people, if you had the double, the bunk beds, I can imagine it being a bit of a squeeze and you'd be like squeezing past each other all the time, which might not be the most ideal situation, but it was fine for one person. I'd say it'd be fine for 2, 3 at a push. I probably would go for a bigger cabin if we had more than 3 people in that space. The bedding was absolutely fine. The storage, as you see from the video, was absolutely fine as well. There's plenty of room for me to put all my things. And I did mention that I put my suitcase under the bed. Now, I had a large suitcase and a medium suitcase, and I nested them inside each other. I also had my little cabin case that also went under the bed. So I would say there's enough space for probably 2 large suitcases and maybe a couple of hand luggage size cases or rucksacks, etc. to go under there. There's also extra space in the bottom of the wardrobes that you can put things as well. So I doubt unless there's 3 of you with 3 large suitcases, then I think you'd have a problem. I think there just wouldn't be enough space, let alone for your cases, but for all of your things as well. Unless you're on a hot cruise, because then you wouldn't be taking as much stuff as I took. Now, if you saw how much I took, you know what I mean. Usability of the space, I really like that it was a desk. I could use my laptop, etc. I also like the little table that went over the sofa. I quite often put my laptop on that while I was doing bits and pieces, and I could look out the balcony doors and watch the Fords go by. And I did sit on my balcony. I did have a bit of dilemma as to whether to book an inside cabin like my friend Laura, who also came with me, did. I'm glad I booked a balcony cabin because I was doing editing and I knew I was going to be chilling in my cabin a bit more. I decided to go for the balcony, and I'm glad. I'm really glad. I loved getting up in the morning in my pajamas, opening those curtains and just being wowed by what was outside. Because when you're in the Norwegian fjords, the scenery is changing constantly when you're moving. And I loved being able to just look out. And I loved being able to, like, when we got back in the evening, because the sun didn't set until gone 11 o'clock. When I say set, it barely set. It was like dusk. It never set properly. I could go out on the balcony and, you know, hear the water and just look out. Iona is lit up like a Christmas tree. It's not dark, and you can see all the decks, and you can see everything on the ship when you look out. So that was really lovely. I really enjoyed having a balcony cabin, and if you want to be able to see stuff, obviously have a balcony cabin. Now I know there are cabins that have sea view, so they don't have a balcony you can actually go out on, but they have a window. Maybe that's a compromise in the middle between the two. A personal preference, definitely, but I am glad I did book what I booked. I found the bathroom in the cabin perfectly fine. I was really worried about how small that shower was going to be. You see on some ships that showers are tiny. Now I had quite a lot of headroom in there. I'm only 5'5", so there was plenty of space. I would say my husband, who's 6 foot, he would have been fine in there. It was quite a big shower as well. It was quite like a long shower, not a square. So that made it easier to wash in the shower. And when you get out of the shower, because the door goes in and out, it goes both ways, you don't have to worry about squeezing around it, etc. You just open it up, get out, push it back in. Super easy. And there are hooks on the back of the bathroom door as well, which I don't think I showed. And I took like a little bathrobe thing. I don't like having a towel wrapped around me. I just don't like it. So I had taken a little bathrobe. And if you're in the suites, I think you get bathrobes included. But I had taken my own, and I loved, you know, being able to have my space in the bathroom and have everything where it needs to go. And as you see in the video, there's plenty of storage space for everything. I put literally all of my toiletries, all of my like first aid kit, everything like that went in there, so it was out of my way and not, you know, not in the room on the desk where I needed to use my laptop. I did take my own hairdryer. I didn't use the one on board. I had heard some stories about them being not so great, because I got fine damaged long hair, I didn't want to wreck it anymore, so I took my little Dyson. You don't need to worry about the voltage or anything like that from the UK, because there were 3 plugs on board, 2 by the kettle and 1 by the side of the bed, and they're all UK plugs, UK voltage, not a problem at all. There were 2 USB slots on the bottom of each bedside lamp. Literally, it's tucked under, so it's really difficult to see. They were okay. I felt like they weren't the fastest, so I did often use a plug and then plug my USB into the plug socket thing rather than the USB ports. The USB ports were fine for like charging up my watch, but they were really slow for my phone and stuff like that. They weren't fast charging, so I had taken other things to be able to fast charge. And I found, you know, given that I had my laptop, I had my camera equipment, I had my GoPro equipment, I had my phone, my watch, I had my iPad, you know, I had my Kindle, I had quite a bit of tech with me. Given that I was charging stuff pretty much felt constantly when I was in the room, I was okay with swapping things around. But again, if there were more than one of you, you might struggle with that. And I know you can't take extension cords because they're a fire risk on board. Maybe take some battery chargers or things like that you can then charge the battery charger up and then have devices charging off those. I don't know what the solution is, but that's what you've got. And for one, it was absolutely fine. The fridge in the room was absolutely fine. I never had a problem with the fridge. I put my bottles in there. I talk about that in my hints and tips video, where I basically rotated bottles full of water from filling up in the bathroom, which you can do. And I found the fridge was fine. It wasn't very big. I did have to move the shelf up a level to be able to stand my water bottles up in it, but it's fine. I wasn't storing any like bottles of wine or cans or anything like that in there. The actual decor of the room was fairly modern as well. Iona's a fairly new ship. The interior is quite light and bright, you know, the mirrors and artwork. It was lovely. The sofa itself, I never asked for it to be put into the bed mode that it could go in, but the sofa as a sofa was really comfortable. You could easily fit probably 3 people on it. And the television as well had a angle bracket. So you could angle it towards the bed, or you could angle it towards the sofa, or just push it back flat against the wall, maybe if you were watching from the bed and the sofa, for example. I felt where everything was in the room suited me. Now I know there are different configurations where the bed is by the door and the sofa is by the wardrobes. I personally was glad I had what I had, because I wanted to be able to sit at the desk or sit on the sofa and look outside. I didn't want to be having to sit on my bed to be able to look outside. But I know some people love waking up in the morning, opening the curtains and getting back into bed and watching the world go by from the bed. It's personal preference, it really is. And I know that there are a load of Facebook groups and things like that that have information about all of the cabins. And there's obviously videos on YouTube, and there's my video as well. So there's lots and lots of information available as to the room types and those things. I'd be interested to see what the bigger room types were like. I did see inside my friend's inside cabin, and the only real difference that I could see was that she just didn't have a sofa. She had 2 single beds, a little desk area. Oh, she had a bit less wardrobe space. I had 4 wardrobe doors. So a single wardrobe, a door which was shelves, and then a double wardrobe. She had the shelves and the double wardrobe. She didn't have the extra single bit with the safe in. She had a safe, but it was inside the other bit of the wardrobe. And a little desk and some shelves. And the bathroom seemed relatively similar size. It didn't seem that small. So I think an inside cabin is quite comparable. Maybe if you're only going to be in your cabin for a little bit and you don't intend on chilling out in your cabin, an inside cabin will probably absolutely fine. But I saw that, and I think that was the smaller of the inside cabins as well. I know, again, there are different size inside cabins, different size, you know, all the cabins are varying different options. So do your research and see what might suit you. Have a look at different videos online, all of those things. So I would say that the cabin really suited my needs. I found it comfortable. The temperature was okay. I did fiddle around with the air conditioning a fair bit to try and get it right. And I kind of got it right by the last day, annoyingly. So I kind of had it in like the middle position, so it wasn't really blowing out hot air or cold air. It was just kind of circulating. With regards to noise and things like that, I've already said it's quite a quiet location. Because it was near the front of the ship, you're obviously at the end of the ship where the engines, so the propellers of the ship are, and where the anchor of the ship is. Now, I've mentioned in one of the videos that when you're coming into the Norwegian fjords and you're coming in to the ford to dock, they pick up a pilot. So it's not just the captain that maneuvers the ship in, you have a pilot as well. And they know the waters and the land, etc. around it, you know, like the back of their hand. They're the experts in getting the ships in and out of the fjords. They were picked up early hours of the morning. Now, I found I woke up pretty much every single night for some reason. And I think when they are picking up people, they slow down or possibly pull into a port, and you get a little bit of a judder, and that woke me up. Now, people who were higher up said they didn't feel a thing, and people who were lower down said that they could feel the vibrations. I wonder if it was that. So if you're a particularly light sleeper, maybe being a bit further back in the ship would be more suitable for you. And my friend who was on 1 floor above me, inside cabin, so she didn't feel a thing. So I don't know. I found deck 10 was quite good. It was quite central for, you know, in the evenings when we met up, we were like, are we going up or are we going down? We were in the middle of all the entertainment bits. I found that was quite nice. We weren't always going all the way up, or we weren't always going all the way down. Mix of ups and downs depending on the evening, really. And I quite liked that. I liked being near Headliners Theatre. That would tend to be the thing we didn't like last in the evening, and it meant we were close to our cabins as well if we needed to get back. I would say I really enjoyed the cabin I had, and I would book it again if I could pick it again. I hope you found this video really helpful. Look out for future videos. There are lots and lots of things coming very, very, very soon, and loads of adventures on the way. I think that's it from me. So like, subscribe for all the good stuff. Bye!